Hello, welcome to the Eddie Conversation Podcast. My name is Eddie Vigil, and I am your host. I am a filmmaker living out in Los Angeles, California. This is episode number 64. Joining me today is Brooke Lusk.
Yes, hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, Brooke. You are actor,
Mhm.
script supervisor.
Yes.
Anything else we should mention up front?
No, just performer, script supervisor. I like to write, but I wouldn't classify myself as a writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you have I don't know if I know, journalistic background as well
I
in
do.
there somewhere?
Yes. You have done your research. Yes. I started entertainment journalism when I was very young. I did that for about 7 years and realized it didn't really fulfill my creative soul, which is what drove me into filmmaking and acting and that whole world.
Okay, so specifically entertainment journalism.
Correct. Yes. So press junkets, red carpet interviews. Like I said, I did it when I was a kid, so mostly kid movies, which was a lot of fun. My very first movie I did was Shrek, and that whole cast was epic.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
first movie to do.
I know.
Wow. Yeah, okay. All right, so we may jump more into that too. What I do want to, okay, I don't know. I feel like we should also reference I just want to get it out of the way because I feel like it's, and you have it highlighted on your Instagram currently.
Yes.
You have some experience in the reality space too.
Yeah.
You got to be on like a dating show thing, right?
Yeah.
You tried that out.
Yes.
So let's gloss over that really quickly and get
Okay.
that out of the way because I feel like that's, I don't know. I imagine
Right.
that's whatever.
I mean, there's tons of podcasts out about 12 Dates
Yes.
of Christmas that I
Yes.
was on, so if you want to know more about
Exactly.
that, you could just YouTube that.
That's what I was going to say. Yes.
Yeah, so last year, 12 Dates of Christmas Season 2 came out, which I was on on HBO Max. And yeah, it was just a fun opportunity that I wanted to give it a try. I mean, it wasn't really, I don't know, there was like no agenda behind it. It was just kind of something I just wanted to give it a go. And I won't be doing reality ever again.
And never again.
And I'll never do it again.
Okay, I guess if anything, I didn't listen to the other podcasts referencing the show but I am curious about process.
Okay, sure.
For like let's just say I don't know what people okay, what was I curious about? Is like when you were gonna do like when you were thinking about jumping and giving this opportunity a shot, how did the opportunity come up, or is this something you auditioned for, or is it how does that part work?
So my old manager who I was with, I don't remember if he submitted me or someone, like a casting director, contacted him, but he ended up giving me a call one day and said, I have this opportunity for you, told me what it was. I was actually being cast for another HBO Max reality show, and then last minute they put me on 12 Dates of Christmas. So I went through an entirely different process for another show, but same network, and then things happen
Okay,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
industry,
yeah.
and then they just bumped me on another one. But it's a very, very long audition process. So you have your audition with the casting director. You have a couple, and they were all via Zoom because it was during COVID, and then the producers, and then the network, and then they decide if they want to have you on. It was like, I would say 3 to 4 months of interviews.
And what kind of interviews is like how I'm assuming it's like personality interviews on how just they're trying to figure out on the specific people they want to put in the same room kind of thing, but is
Exactly.
so it's,
Yeah, chemistry, seeing who you are as a person, personality. I mean, the casting director, once you kind of get past the casting director phase, the casting director becomes your friend and like wants you to get cast through the producers in the network. So they kind of help you with what to say. I mean, for dating, it's always, I feel like it's very animated about like, would you date a fuck boy kind of thing? Would you go for a good guy? And they just want you to be really big and really bubbly. So
Really entertaining.
really entertaining, big
Yeah.
personalities. So I feel like
Yeah, I would never. Yeah, I would
I was
never get
exhausted
kind
after every audition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this makes sense.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, and now to the next
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the Let's speed right on.
um. Okay, so the reason that you and I know each other is because we're both script supervisors, pretty much. Is
Yes.
we connected, I think, via Instagram somehow,
Yeah.
and we're both script supervisors. So
Yes.
that's kind of where I'm very curious as to that trajectory for yourself. I
Okay.
know, like, even the little digging that I did do, it's hard to really figure out timing wise on because you moved here. It's been you're nearing the 10-year mark
I
soon,
am.
right? It's not
Yeah.
like this. I don't
I
know.
think this will be year 8. I think
Okay,
I'm on
yeah,
year 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, you moved to LA, and you initially moved here for the entertainment journalism. No?
No, I moved here for
Okay.
acting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
quick
yeah.
story.
No, we have time. You got it.
From 12 to 19 for 7 years, I did entertainment journalism in Sacramento. And then around 19, I was co hosting an entertainment journalist show. And it was kind of one of those things where you wake up one day and you're like, I'm not happy doing this. And I just made the decision that in 3 months, I'm going to move to LA and just give acting a try. And I told my mom, oh, I'll just go for the summer. And here I am,
Sure,
8
sure.
years later. So I never moved back home. I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with the city. And yeah, I mean, at 19, I was here, started pursuing acting, and then somewhere 4 years ago, so
All right, well, let's pause. Let's pause there.
okay,
Okay. I don't want to glide over all. Okay, that's very
pause,
quickly.
pausing.
Well, no, that's cool. I was just gonna say that it's interesting that you're like, I'm just gonna move here for a few months, and then you've never left. Where I know it's very common that it happens the other way. It's like I'm gonna move there forever,
Right.
and then they only stay 3 months. So that's kind of cool. That's
Yeah.
the only thought I had. Okay, sorry. Continue. I don't know
No,
what
you're
else.
right. People, the city, I feel like you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah. So
Um,
how was there anything specific that happened in that first 3 months that you realized that this is like this is it?
it just felt right. The first 3 months I was 19. It was the summer. I had a roommate. I was living in Orange County, so I wasn't even really in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So the acting opportunities were very slim. So I felt like those 3 months flew by, and I just wanted to give myself more
Okay.
time.
All right.
And then my roommate and I did make the move to LA about a year later, and that's when things really started to kick into gear for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're fast forwarding. You were saying 4 years
hmm
ago something happened.
I fell into script supervising, which the person who taught me is how I got in connection with you, Alyssa Lana. Do you know
Okay.
Alyssa?
I don't even know Alyssa.
Oh my
I met
God.
Alyssa through you.
She gave me your info. So
Yeah.
Alyssa,
I think it's just the Instagram sphere. Like again, I promote myself on IG as a script supervisor,
okay.
and I think my thought was that she just saw that I was a script soup,
Okay.
and of course I'm super legitimate and really cool. So of course it was just like I barely know this guy. That's how I put it together.
Okay.
But
She's
regardless,
one of
we're
my
here.
best friends. I've been friends with Alyssa for about 5 or 6 years now, and she's been script supervising longer than me. And I was acting on a short film, and she was there. I didn't know she was going to be there, and I didn't know what she was doing. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm script supervising," and that's how I learned. I was only on the film for about 2 or 3 days, and I asked the producers if I could come back and shadow her,
Mm,
and I did. And that was 4 years ago. And then I really loved it and started doing it myself.
okay. So how did okay? So
So how did I?
no.
Okay.
How did okay, so you watched her do her thing. How did you build up the craft from that point? Did how did you learn further from there, I guess, once you realized, yeah,
Yeah, because script supervising is a
it's a
lot
lot.
to take in.
Well,
It was. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say the question I'd like to ask too is just a reminder for those, what does a script supervisor do?
focus on continuity mainly,
Okay,
unless
that's an
we can.
easy answer there.
That is, I mean, we can really get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like our biggest job is continuity.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I shadowed her for 5 to 7 days. I think we were continued working, and then since she was just a good friend of mine, she would just come over to my house and just teach me, break it down. I think I shadowed her on a couple other projects for a few days, and then I just started really small, student films. Um, God, I mean, I feel like it was just trial and error. I did it for free a lot. Kind of like acting, starting out, you do a lot of
Yeah.
things for free.
Yeah.
So you can make those mistakes.
Yeah,
And
build up the confidence in the process and
yeah.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
connections.
And the connections.
That's the big one.
That is, it's key. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And
Yeah.
that's it. I was just kidding. That's the show. All right. I mean, that's similar to my story too, where I had been I was more on I was on the crew side in Reno pursuing film, and I had ended up on a bigger feature film as like a personal assistant to the director, and there was a script supervisor at Video Village for the first time in my entire experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Well, you were saying that Alyssa was already your friend prior
Yes.
to that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this woman, but she had her iPad and she was like swiping away and stuff. And I'm like, this is weird. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And she got sick one weekend, and I got to fill in on this like $7 million indie feature for a
Wow.
weekend. And she gave me the lowdown on like, here's how to take notes. And yeah, similar. She got my notes over the weekend, and she's like, "This is what you do now. You're really good, and this is now your life."
That's amazing.
And I came down to LA to study with her instructor. Her name is Randy Feldman.
Shout out to Randy.
Shout out to Randy. She's still teaching. Yeah, so I did like a workshop. It was like an intensive 6-week kind of thing or something like that. Either way, yeah, kind of.
Cool.
I don't know. I don't know if I fell. I don't know. Falling.
Yeah, I fell into it. You fell
Yeah.
into it. It's not like we were looking to do it.
Nobody looks to. I don't know if anybody looks to do script supervision.
Right? I feel like that is the story that people just fall into it, but I really enjoy it. And I'm not sure why, because it's extremely stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy that kind of stress.
Yeah, you're involved.
Yeah. And working close with the director is a lot of fun. Being at Village is a lot of fun. Did you start digital straight away?
I did my first project on pen and paper.
Okay.
I think I did my first few on pen and paper. Yeah, I did I think it was like an 18-day feature, 15-day feature, pen and paper. And then yeah, eventually it was like I did that for like maybe 6 months, and then I transitioned out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same.
So everybody kept screaming at me.
I'm like, what's wrong with being analog? Because I made this switch about a year into it, I think, and I really liked pen and paper because I felt like it was safe with me, that my computer couldn't crash because it wasn't a computer.
Yeah,
it was a pen and paper.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about digital that scares me because our notes have been compared to like the Bible of set. If we lose them, no bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess for those at home that are unfamiliar with the paperwork that we do,
Mhm.
what are we? So I guess if let's get let's get a little bit nerdy and specific
For
with
sure.
what we're filling out. So if we're talking by hand, pen and paper, there's a lot of stuff that we turn in as script supervisors on the daily. Digital makes it kind of streamlined,
Mhm.
but the process of actually doing it helps plant it in the. I don't know. That's how it works for me.
Yeah.
But and it you're actually more aware of all the stuff that you're doing when you do it manually.
Yes.
So what are we doing?
I can start with opposite pages.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
like the facing the editor. Okay, yep.
There's different names for them. Yes.
I think I know what you're talking about.
This is like scene, take, camera roll,
Mm-hmm.
all that. Yeah, should I just
Yeah, yeah,
okay, we
please, please.
every script supervisor is a smidge different that I've met, aside from Alyssa who taught me. So
Hmm.
sometimes I feel like I'm saying the wrong
No,
thing,
this is
but
great.
okay.
Yeah, okay, sure. Go.
You go
Yeah,
ahead.
you.
I'm actually really curious because I feel like you're better than me.
I was gonna say, okay, so what happens is if you see an image of a script supervisor, or if you're on set and you see somebody who you think is maybe the script super, it's kind of hard. It's easy to spot a script supervisor on set normally. Is they normally look like a nerd,
Mhm.
and they have some sort of tech in front of them, and they're kind of just like in their own little world, and you can tell they're lonely.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, only one in our department.
yeah. So yeah, they're sitting there with their laptop or their iPad, and they're at Video Village with the director. And the notes that we're doing there, like you said, we're helping the second AC slate the scene. So we
Mhm.
tell them, okay, this is scene 4. This is the second setup, so it's 4A, for Apple. And then, so we'll be notating
Yes,
each take. Take 1, this happened. Take 2, this happened. Take 3, this. So that's the basic notes that a script supervisor does.
correct. Yes.
And then we will circle the good ones.
The director's favorite takes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
the favorites. So that way in post, the editor can kind of
Just
we
jump
can
to.
save them time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole idea of the script soup is we're here to solve problems now. So that way
Yeah.
we can help the production later.
Fix it in pre.
Fix it in pre and on the day.
Yes.
Yes.
Not in post.
Not in post.
Yeah. I think my favorite kind of director is the director that
Okay.
immediately is like, that's my favorite one. Circle that take. Because I feel like and there's nothing wrong with this. Directors are busy and they get crazy on set. Directing the actors that I'm like, did you like that take? Should I circle that one? You know? But when they're like, that one, circle that one, I'm like, okay, got it. I love when they're vocal with me. I
Yeah.
feel like it makes our
Yeah.
life easier.
If they're speaking their thoughts honestly out loud,
Mhm.
it does make our job easier.
Yes.
Even if they're just saying it to the actor or just anybody, if we just hear it at all, it's helpful for the notes.
Yes.
That's the job.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking. Okay, I've kind of almost stopped trusting the directors on when they say it's their favorite. I know
Okay.
a lot of it's director to director a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I know I'm with some directors that like to just say they love everything, or they get excited about a thing, but they're not really thinking about. They're not thinking too closely about take 3 versus take 4. They just say, "Yeah, that one was my favorite," or
Yeah.
they'll have a gut instinct. But I'm like, yeah, we don't. I'll just circle. I can gauge off their energy better than their words a lot
Mm-hmm.
on whether they like it. So if they tell me, I just sometimes don't believe them.
Puts it in the notes. Didn't really believe it, but he said it was his favorite.
Yeah, I'll put in quote. I like to do quotes in my notes too, like best. Yeah, this is amazing, says director. So I'll just put the director said that, and I
His
circle
notes are
it.
very sarcastic.
I like sarcasm in my notes. Because I don't know, directors.
Directors.
Well, plus
You and I
okay.
are never getting hired ever again after this podcast.
No,
comes out.
plus I guess I say it because I mean I've directed. I direct too.
Okay.
So but again, it's my experience as well. Like I enjoy when the editor has more say. Like the editor sometimes doesn't care on. Like they're there to service the project, and they're
Mhm.
there to assist the director in making a good product. But sometimes the director's thinking too much about how difficult it was on the day to get a shot, or the amount of setup it took, and they're more invested. Like they can get compromised emotionally, and the editor is kind of like a clean slate, and they can
Right.
watch it without all that other context,
Right.
and they usually have a better view, better clean view. And then the director can come in later and be like, "Hey, this is actually what I was thinking," and the editor will fight back. I'm like, "Well, this is why I did it," and hopefully, yeah, there's a nice collaborative
Yeah.
conversation there.
That's enlightening because I've ever worked in post.
Mm.
So you being a director and having
I
worked
almost drank from my
in
mic there. That was close.
yeah, it makes sense. It's good to know. Directing is something that I would like to do in the future. I don't feel like I'm anywhere near attempting.
You could do it easy. Directing's easy. Doing it well is hard.
Ah, yeah, I'll give it a few more years. I wanna hone in on my acting and script supervising before I enter
Okay.
that water.
Yeah,
But
it's good to have your priorities.
yeah. Is there a director? Now I'm interviewing you.
Sure,
Is there a
please.
director that has stuck out in your mind that you just loved working with as a scripty or hated?
Sorry, sorry, no. I got tripped up by the term scripty. I was going to ask you about it. It was on my list. I was going to ask
Do
you
you not like it?
well, okay, it's not about me. It's not about me.
Okay.
I guess I have learned not to like it.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly because other script supervisors don't like it.
Hmm. I'm not aware.
Um, I talk about this on the show quite frequently.
Okay.
I it's yeah. You can let me know if this is accurate or not. But script supervisor is a position historically that has been occupied by women employee people.
Okay.
So it's like a cutesy nickname kind of thing. Commonly, okay, through history, script supervisors have mostly been women, and then the directors have mostly been men. And it's normally like the script girl. Like the script girl is kind of like a thing that was people used to say, "Hey, script girl."
Okay.
So it's a little bit like a demeaning, downgrading. It's like I'm a script supervisor. Don't call me script girl.
Right.
Scripty is a similar cutesy nickname. Is a script like Scripty's a little like cute and demeaning.
Gotcha.
Same with crafty too. Like the craft services people, primarily women. So crafty and scripty both were
I did not know this.
men talking down to women and thinking lesser of them through time. So yeah, other script supervisors are like, yeah, I don't like scripty can really, So whenever I hear, it, I'm like, oh,
Oh. Script soup. How is script soup okay?
script soup is great.
Okay.
Yeah, I like. I mean, so I try. I guess I whenever I hear, I try to
Thank you for educating me
Yeah.
because I would not want to offend someone else in our field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess script supervisor in full, script soup is cool. Script can also be cool. I like being called script. That
Okay.
sounds kind of official.
Yeah.
Or, just your name too. Hey, Brooke.
Yeah.
That's nice when people call you by your name versus, hey, Scripty. This happened to me on this Christmas movie recently. I was just there for a day. Because that was the thing. I was just a day player, so
Yeah.
they didn't know my name. Scripty. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. It's not that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think I've actually been referred to as Scripty more so than my name, thinking back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that script supervisors enjoy being called Scripty. So it's like, oh, I know the nickname that you enjoy, Scripty.
Right.
Okay, sorry, you had a question in there though. You were interviewing me.
No,
now.
you're fine.
Directors.
Directors. Yes. Do you have a favorite?
Can I ask you that question first?
Sure.
So I don't compromise your answer because you're the guest.
A favorite director I've worked with. Well, I guess circling back to some, like I said, directors that are vocal.
Yep.
I worked on a thriller movie that just came out end of April. We worked on this in September. Brian Herzlinger, and I think if I remember correctly, he does a lot of Lifetime and Hallmark movies.
Okay.
One of, if not the best director I've worked with as a script supervisor. Just very decisive about everything. Like, he knew exactly what he wanted. He was always on track with his shot lists. I've worked with many directors who don't even make shot lists, which can make your life very hard. Everyone's life very hard.
Mm-hmm.
He was just very organized and very decisive with everything. Very fast paced. We shot 8 pages a day. It was like a 15-day shoot for like a 95-page thriller. I just loved working with him. During
Yes.
takes, he would point at the screen, and my notes were so specific where it was just, you know, just piece. I was basically editing for the editor in my notes. We're going to piece this here and this here and this here. And that's just how he wanted it. And it was a lot of work for me, and the most I think I've ever been thrown at. But I feel like I learned a lot from him. And I really liked how decisive he was.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Decisiveness. Decisiveness is great.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you talked about, I guess maybe, I wouldn't say like bad director, but directors making it harder on their team than they need to do
Yeah.
with the lack of decisiveness on even just the shots. Because us as script supervisors, some things I guess that people maybe don't know that we even really do because it's kind of invisible work is like the matching action and the continuity of the actors and the space and props. And so when you jump into a new scene, it's helpful to know how we're gonna shoot this thing.
Yeah.
Is who's getting close-ups? Are we doing a wide? And then the order in which we shoot it determines a lot of stuff too, which can be frustrating.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Okay, so to my answer is kind of similar in a way where I enjoy. I know one. The movie's called Earthquake Country. It's premiering soon, actually, at the Dances with Wolves Film Festival.
Amazing.
It had two directors, Hallie and Audrey McPherson. So it was like two sisters on their directorial debut adventure. And because it was their directorial debut, they actually did the nice thing of including the team in the process because they're like, we know we're not professional. We know we're not like elite. We don't know everything. So even if you do know everything, you should probably still utilize the team you brought on.
Yes.
But they were awesome with it. They weren't trying to pretend that they knew everything. So they included the script supervisor, AD, DP. We would all just kind of have a little meeting before each scene, and I would do my little drawings of, okay, so the characters here and here. We have the angles here and here. Okay, everybody's on the same page with these
How we're
the
doing this.
setups.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's nice.
I love when people can be collaborative and there's not just like a dictator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That
Yeah.
sounds like a very pleasant experience.
It was lovely. And it was on
Yeah.
location too. So we were like, the whole living together for 3 weeks and that kind of thing. Lovely experience.
Very fun.
And I'm excited to finally see the movie like 3 years later.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's been a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Shooting on location is fun. I first AD'd one movie.
I was going to ask about this.
Did you know about this too?
First ADing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're credited on IMDb with
is
some
it?
first AD work. Yeah.
Oh my God. I gotta look at my IMDb. The biggest thing I did was a werewolf movie in the Sequoias, and I think we were there 2 weeks.
And you were first AD.
I was first ADing.
Why?
So this was end of 2020. Hadn't really worked all year because of the pandemic, and Alyssa was script supervising on this werewolf movie, and her and I were out at lunch, and she was like, "Oh, I leave in about a week to go to the Sequoias to film this horror movie." And I think we wrapped at midnight on Halloween. So, werewolf movie, horror is my favorite.
Okay.
And she said, "Do you know any first ADs?" And I was like, "What if I first AD?" And she's like, "You don't first AD?" And I was like, "I will learn." And I did. I called all my first AD friends and I interviewed them and I watched a bunch of YouTube stuff. The director was also very green. And I told her that I was very green.
It's a great combo.
Yeah. It actually went over very well. Now that I know what a first AD does, I'm like, I don't want to do this. But it actually went well, and no one on set could tell that I was green, which I was like,
That's awesome.
that's my acting skills coming into play.
Great. You pulled it off.
I pulled it off, but it was a lot of fun.
How many days again?
I think 2 weeks.
12-day, 2 6-day weeks. Do you remember? I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just curious.
I think it was 12 days, shooting days.
I would hope. But if
Yeah.
you're doing 2 weeks, it's at least 2 6-day weeks.
Hmm.
Just knock it out.
It's crazy.
That's a lot.
It was a lot.
That's crazy to just
Uh,
jump in and do a
yeah.
feature as a first AD. Yeah.
But most of that cast and crew is still very tight. Like, I got a lot of friends out of that, and we are going to Italy this August, September, and she wrote in this new film, that director, and is directing it, and we just got greenlit and funding from
Hmm.
investors. So we're going to Italy for 6 to 8 weeks.
And you're signing on as.
Script supervisor
Okay.
with Alyssa. There's going to be two of us in the department,
Whoa.
which
That's
is
unheard of.
how it used to be. Did you know that? Our
No.
department used to be script supervisor and continuity.
Really.
There was two of us.
I know that those discussions happen a lot in the script supervisor groups, and there's a lot of push to try to get to. But it's weird on how to. I don't know, I get confused. I'm trying to imagine having like if you and I were both script souping the same thing. I don't even. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll notate stuff and you watch. I don't know. It's weird. I don't.
So how I was picturing it was one of us would be lining the script and staying on book for the actors, and the other one would be doing opposite pages.
And then both of you are just paying attention the whole time and catching stuff.
Yeah. But I feel like continuity would be more so on the monitor, but lining the script and staying on book, maybe not as much on the monitor, unless there's monitor space, because I know you always have to fight for that in Village.
Yeah, because I guess it depends on how the actors are doing too. If the actors are nailing their lines over and over again, then there can be less pressure taken off of the being on book. It's like, okay, great. They're like never messing up. They'll still be following along and being there for them, but
Yeah.
they can put energy elsewhere.
Yeah.
But that's cool. How did you guys how did you wrangle the two script soup deal?
So Leah, our writer director, when she was talking to the investors about funding, we're shooting on film. So
Mm.
when you shoot on film, it's more expensive, obviously, and she wants to minimize the amount of mistakes as possible.
Yeah.
Granted, that's not always promised because the actors could mess up, but just when it comes to continuity, she would rather have two heads instead of one.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, that's
That
fine
sounds great.
with film.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on film, this is the annoying thing. I hate it. I feel like I feel like this should be the case all the time. It's like every take matters. We should make sure everything is working all the time. We shouldn't be rushing this. Let's talk about it first. Let's
Mm-hmm.
rehearse this 1st. Let's
Mm-hmm.
block this out first. Versus like, oh, let's just roll in the rehearsal. Let's just
Yeah.
let's just keep rolling and let's just go back to the top and let's just burn. Let's just
Burn these memory cards with nothing usable.
yeah, and then the editor has to sift through whatever. So
Yeah.
with film, yeah, it's precious, which is lovely. It makes people actually do it properly, which
Yeah.
it's kind of the only reason I guess would consider doing film is because my team would actually care.
Yeah. Everyone would check the frame and be like, everyone sees that C-stand, right? Let's move that before
Yeah.
we roll.
yeah. And then we would rehearse it to death,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 takes or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool though. That's lovely.
I'm really
Italy.
excited. Italy. Yep.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm Italian, so this has been a dream to always go to Italy.
You've
So
never been.
I've never been.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
You extending the stay?
I was thinking about it because my birthday is actually the end of September. So that's definitely an option, is to wrap the film late September and maybe just stay an extra week or
So
two for my birthday.
how long is the shoot?
6 to 8 weeks. We're still.
That's long.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that part of it. I was
No,
like,
you're
wait a
good.
second. You're there forever. 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a weird. Okay.
We don't have everything logistically lined up. Yeah. We'll see.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking about not that this is going to happen to you, but I got hit up for as it goes. Like I script supervised for a feature last year. The first AD recommended me as a script supervisor for another project this year, and the hard sell was that we're doing a week here in LA. It was a short film, and another week in the Bahamas.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never
Yeah.
been in the Bahamas. This would be so cool. And then we never ended up going to the Bahamas.
Damn it.
So, yeah. Because, yeah, they weren't as cooperative, or like, I guess the deeper they got into conversations with the resort or whatever, they realized that it wasn't going to work out. And then they looked at like different resorts in like Mexico, like Puerto Vallarta or some other spots. I'm like, that'll do. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then we ended up shooting in Long Beach. So
Boo.
I
I've
was
been to
like,
Long Beach now.
yeah, well, yeah. I was like, I took this crappy rate so I can go to the Bahamas, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, now I'm going,
Now I'm going to
it's
Long
fine. It's
Beach.
fine. So yeah, fingers, hopefully it doesn't land. You're shooting in Long Beach after all
Yeah.
this work.
Right?
That's cool.
Yeah, no, I think my director's very set on
No,
Italy.
it'll happen. You guys got the money.
Yeah. Got the shmoney.
Nice. Okay, I lost track of what's going on here.
All right. Back on track. I'll take a sip.
You got some matcha? Is that a matcha?
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask the easy question, and because I'm curious too, is so you've fallen into script supervisor life.
Mm-hmm.
You still are actor life.
Mm-hmm.
How does I'm very curious on how they complement each other, if they do, like you doing script supervisor work, if you're able, like if that helps build the actor Brooke up, or if actor Brooke, or being a script supervisor makes you a better actor, or like that back and forth on how
Yeah.
that's kind of played out.
Uh, Immediately when I started script supervising, I noticed that it made me a better actor, technically.
Immediately.
Yeah. I mean, immediately I had the realization that this is going to make me a better
Oh,
actor.
gotcha.
I was like, new and improved. Just all the technical things, even pulling focus and knowing how to act with what lens we're on and where to act from. That was never, I was so unaware of little things like that. So, watching other actors, you could tell who's new to acting and who's not. So just learning from other people and watching them, um, script supervising has taught me a lot. It just threw me off.
Yeah.
But as for, I think I kind of lost myself in the script supervising world. Like I stopped paying attention to my acting when I first jumped into script supervising. I was really wrapped up in it. I thought it was really cool, but I kind of neglected my acting pursuits. So I had to kind of pull myself away from script supervising because the money can be better than acting money at the level I'm at right now.
Yeah, or more consistent, or yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think I kind of got swallowed by that financial comfort and had to pull myself out and focus on my acting because I didn't want to lose that. I still really love that. And I didn't want people just to think of me as a script supervisor. I wanted them to also know that I'm an actress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a delicate balance that I'm still figuring out. I'm actually kind of stepping back from script supervising right now to focus more on my acting.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean that's the struggle. Because that's, yeah, okay. It makes sense that it would help the acting by default too. That's the same thing. Like I feel like I'm shadowing directors all the time when I'm script supervising. I'm just like watching decisions being made. I'm watching to see how they play out, and I can learn from others' mistakes or others' wins, or I like how they did this or I didn't like how they did that. So I could see how it still plays with actors too. I'm like, oh, it makes my job a lot easier as a script supervisor when that actor knows their lines. Just step one.
Step one,
Step
yeah.
two is like, oh, this actor is like, oh my gosh, they're sitting down on the exact same line at the exact same thing every single time.
Yeah.
They know the direction they're turning. They know which hand has this. Like, you can just tell that I don't have to watch anything on this person because they're just nailing it every time.
Yeah.
You got a lot of respect for,
Seasoned
yeah,
actors.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yes.
Lost my train. Okay. I was going to say, I forgot. Okay.
I have just something to add on to that. I was with Alyssa last summer in Temecula, and they were shooting a movie with Vivica Fox. She's in Kill Bill,
Mm.
and she was our leading lady in this movie. And Alyssa was script supervising on it. And she told me that there was this one scene, and Vivica's such a pro, that she was smoking a cigarette, and every time they had to reload the cigarette, she would tell everyone to wait and smoke it down to the exact same spot that it was at. And it's little things like that that script supervisors are just like, I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That's
doing
great.
that.
That's
So the
great.
cigarette's not like constantly shrinking and growing in every
Yeah.
cut.
She's like, I just gotta have a little smoke here. Don't
little,
mind
little
me.
smoke. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I hate. Yeah, cigarette continuity is the worst.
It's like drink
Well,
continuity.
plus, I'm on a lot of. I don't know how it is for you. I'm on a lot of. Because I'm non-union. You're non-union.
Yeah.
Do you have ambitions to go union? Probably.
As a script supervisor, yeah. It's not like my first priority
Sure.
right now. I just became union as an actress.
Oh,
Yes,
congrats.
thank you.
Let's talk about the acting. We'll get there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
No,
we'll get there.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say is as working on non-union productions, again, I don't know how it is for you, but I feel like I'm kind of like some people come to me with like, "Hey, are these drinks okay?" or "Hey, is this good?" and "Hey, the cigarette." And I'm just like, "Eh."
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. It's like that's the least of our worries at this specific moment. We're just
Mhm.
trying to make our day. We're trying to like I don't want to slow the production down by saying, "Hey, actually those drinks can we go." If it's a huge thing, I'll speak up about it,
Yeah.
but sometimes there's other bigger continuity things we got to watch for. But that's awesome that the cigarette thing.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I think that I play by my director. Some directors are very on me about like those drinks don't match and it could be a centimeter off. So then it's just I have to rewire my brain to watch all the little things.
Yeah. At the same time, we should be getting help from.
Art department.
There you go.
And hair and makeup and wardrobe.
Yeah.
Or other
Well,
little
yeah,
things.
again, on
Yes.
smaller projects, we don't have the luxury of having a big enough video village where those people can actually have a close eye on the screen.
Yeah, agreed.
So when the hair, 'cause the thing that threw me off, I've been working on it so hard, is the hair continuity,
Mm-hmm.
especially
girls,
with
it's hard.
especially with newer actors.
It's the constant touching.
Yeah,
the
or
hair.
there's the hair tuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like during a scene, the actor will just like kind of pseudo in character nervously tuck hair sometimes, and sometimes they don't. So I can watch for the starting position of the hair, but then I'm like, oh, it ended differently, or
Right. I don't know when they did that.
yeah,
Because we're not really looking for that.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I can't waste all my
Yeah. Yeah. Those little things.
continuity, everybody. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad. Okay, I know on your Instagram specifically, I feel like you do a pretty good. I feel like it's obvious on the ratio between promoting yourself as a script supervisor and not. I know I was just scrolling through. I'm like, oh, there's a script supervisor pick. It's real. She's been doing it for longer than because I didn't know how long you were doing it. So
Yeah.
I was like, where's the earliest script suit pick? And it was just a couple years ago or something. I don't know if you.
Yeah, it was like end of 2019, or if I'm thinking of the one.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like one script suit pick and then like 80 other picks and one script suit pick. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel that. Cause, okay, I was going to say as a director script supervisor, it's tricky too. Because I don't know if you tell people on set as you're script supervising that
You're a director?
you're also an actor.
Oh, me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm here and I love my job, but actually my dream is on the actor side,
Well,
or how you phrase it.
I phrase it that I love doing both. And I do. I do love working in production. I just love making movies. So I'm actually equally happy acting or script supervising. It's just I feel like my personal dilemma of, oh, I'm neglecting my acting. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of
Right,
like I
right.
have to check myself and put more effort where I want it in my life. But I do equally love both things. It's just if people ask, is this what you do? I say yes, but I also act.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's like, hey, my name is Eddie. I'm a director. I'm making a movie, and I need an actor just like you,
mhm.
and I need a script supervisor. Which one would you prefer to?
Oh, okay. Act. Yeah, I guess I would prefer to act.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense too because those opportunities come around lesser than the script soup is.
Also true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Got the answer.
Got the
Got
answer.
it. Got
Okay,
her.
you fished it out of me. I'm a liar.
No, because I know you're not a part of. This is okay. Are you a part of the any script supervisor? Are you on Facebook, like the Facebook groups and stuff? Do you do any of that?
I have a Facebook, but I could not tell you the last time I logged into Facebook.
Okay.
So
Well, we
no.
gotta fix that. No, there's a Los Angeles script supervisor network,
Okay.
and we had our first in-person meeting since COVID happened, and it was lovely catching up with all the script soup.
Good
Um,
soup.
good soup. Um, and I was talking with um this woman that had mentioned because she switched from acting to script supervising recently, and she was on a show that let her act. Like they needed a character for a thing, and I guess I don't know how it happened. I didn't ask her, but she got to do this whole dramatic like death scene.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, cool. She found a way to be a script supervisor on a thing and act in it at the same time. I'm like, that's crazy. So I don't know if that's ever happened. Has that ever?
Yeah.
You've done it?
As background,
Oh, that
uh,
doesn't count.
it doesn't count, but it was extremely difficult because
That's
the
impossible.
director, still wanted me to take notes. So I did. I was background at a restaurant
That's unfair.
and I had my computer on the floor. And after every cut, I would just pick it up and be like, "What are the notes?" So the director was helpful with yelling notes at me in
I
between.
mean, we've been there. I know I've done AD and script supervisor at the same time. I did a 23-day horror creature feature as a first AD, and then I had my iPad, and after each take, I would script soup.
Was your brain fried afterwards?
It's a piece of cake.
Was it really?
No, I don't know. I don't. The first priority was first AD was the first priority, and then the notes came second. So I was mostly like, it was tough. It was.
It
I
was,
mean, I
yeah.
would not recommend it. I wouldn't say don't do that. But I know
Mm-mm.
it was. I just moved to LA, and back in Reno, I had a buddy that was making his first feature, and he just needed the help.
That's very kind of you. I can't picture you as a first AD just because you're so soft spoken. And if
Yeah.
you know nothing about first ADs, they're usually the person that like everyone
No.
thinks is a dick on set. But they like
How,
if you think they're a dick, they're doing a good job, right?
no.
No, that's the
No.
whole like
No, it's not the job.
stereotype. It's
That's
not
not
the
the
job.
job. The
I
job
wasn't
is
a
not
dick when I
the
was a
the
first AD.
job is not be a dick. The job is get the job done
On time.
on time
Yes.
through communication.
Right.
And
And be a little mean about it.
and the tactic in which you communicate can vary depending on personality.
Yes.
But yeah, I first AD'd, yeah. I'm an awesome first AD.
Did you make all your days?
Yeah.
And he wasn't a dick. You just beat the stereotype.
I'm just good at my job. I'm sorry.
You are. I don't doubt you at all.
No, no, it's not. I get that. I get that quite frequently, actually. I forget. No, I do. Like, it's kind of like a parental thing, too. I feel like it's parental techniques. You can yell at your children and hope that they do better,
Yes.
or you can just show that you're disappointed in them. And then
We didn't
they'll
make our
feel
day
it, and
because
then
of
they'll
you.
feel bad. They're like, "Oh, I let my dad down. I don't want him to be sad again." Like that.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, "Oh, man, guys, I thought we were better than this."
So you're not mean. You're just manipulative. He's a manipulative first AD.
I have my different tactics. Okay, I save those moves
Yes. For the emergencies.
yeah.
Yes. We're very far behind.
But normally, yeah, instead of shouting out to a full room, I go to individuals and
Yeah.
Yeah, fix it in pre.
Fix it in pre.
Yeah.
That's the key. Yeah, first AD makes me very stressed out. It's not for me. Like you said, being a parent, I feel like that is the job of the first AD. You are just in charge of all of the departments in a way, like, just keeping everybody on track. And I hate that so
Yeah, you gotta
much.
have a lot of trust.
I hate it. I love being the only person in our department.
Yeah, yeah. Because the script supervisor is still in the know with all the departments,
hmm
same as the first AD. It's just it's a different relationship.
Yeah.
Like ideally, either way, we're here to support each other and make a great product.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is some animosity on one position more than the other.
Yeah. Have you ever walked off a job? Spill the tea.
I don't think I have.
Really? Have you ever wanted to?
Yes. Yes. I'm thinking of like a student. I know when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was script supervising, kind of like you said. It wasn't a free job, but it was a. I don't know if I should shout out the college either. It's not their fault. Um, it was just one of the film schools,
Yeah.
and I think it was like a 10-day. It was like a crazy long. I don't know. I think the script supervisor wanted to quit after day one or something. I don't know. The point is, I came in and it was like a whole flurry of like, we need a script supervisor because we're losing our script supervisor, and nobody else is available, and you're the only one who says they're available, but you won't take our rate. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna work for that. Sorry, I think whatever. And then they raised the rate up for me, and I came in the next day, and then the director wanted nothing to do with me and didn't want me there at all, and was really confused as to why I was near conversations and wanted to be in on rehearsals and blockings. He just wanted me at Village, uh, and that's the only time that I've been like,
Why am I here?
yeah, your whole team just fought really hard to bring me onto set, and I'm doing a favor by working for a low rate already.
Yeah.
But I didn't walk off; I finished it.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah, that's the only time I came close.
Yeah.
And yeah, what about you? Tell me about your
I've walked off
spill the tea.
one set. Uh, it was last summer. Um, Spoke with the director beforehand. Seemed like a nice guy. It was a small indie feature with little kids, which makes things difficult, and a dog. The dog was like the star of
Ooh,
the movie. Uh,
Airbud.
yeah, which makes continuity also difficult, but you have to be forgiving when there's an animal on set. Just kind of let things go. But they had 2 units and didn't tell
Mm,
me
mm.
that they had 2 units. And they expected me to be with both units at the same time, and they were shooting at the same time
Well,
in different
that's
locations. So I, still kind of just being overly nice. Sometimes, I could just break my back for people. I was literally sprinting back and forth between 2 units, trying to get notes for both. And, I just was like, okay, day one, I want to really do a good job. And it was very hot. People were getting agitated. We were behind. And day one, I think the director and the DP made me cry like twice before lunch just because they were very demeaning. And I was really trying my hardest, but I just was getting like horrible, horrible feedback. And I was really just, pushing. Day two, same thing happened. Made me cry a couple times before lunch. And I just went to my UPM at the end of day two, and just the like mental wear and tear I had by end of day two, I was like, I can't come back to this.
mm,
I'm really, really sorry.
yes.
So I didn't come back. I actually, tried to find a replacement for myself and turned in all my notes immediately. Got paid for the 2 days, and then I found out that they went through 4 more script supervisors throughout that shoot, and none of the other script supervisors turned their notes in because they were so mad at the production. So I was like, it was not
They
me.
didn't get any notes turned in.
No.
I think that's weird. I
Yeah.
feel like even if the day is bad, you still
I
turn in your
turned mine
notes.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
wanted nothing to do. I was like,
Okay,
here, I'm
so
done.
what kind of feedback or I guess just for all the baby script supervisors at home looking forward to the job.
I just felt like this was very situational. I just couldn't do anything right in my director and DP's eyes. They had a small village set up for me, but they would shoot far away, so I would try and be by my director, and he had a small monitor, and I would
Oh,
rather
right,
kind
right.
of be in the mix rather than at village and like miss something. So I was trying to just stay in the mix of things, and I just was never where I was supposed to be in their eyes. Like I just couldn't do
Okay.
anything right. Like it was, yeah,
Yeah, that's no fun.
no. But after I walked off the job, I booked another job that paid twice as much, and I was very
And
happy
then you
after
were happy.
that.
Happy ending.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that was last year. Okay.
yeah, last summer.
That's nice of you to try so hard, though.
Yeah, I definitely did too much. One of the other script supervisors that hopped on the job called me after they walked, and they were like, they expected me to do this and this and this, and I told them no, and then they got mad at me, and the things that they were expecting them to do I was doing, and I was like, you didn't do it? And they were like, no, that's way below my pay grade, like, or
Hmm.
above. Yeah, they just, mm, they should have a second unit if you have two units.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've been
so
on. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a lot there.
yeah, it was just a messy production.
Yeah. Because that's. I mean, that's that. Those are the lessons that we learn, right?
Yeah.
Is like next time when we're in a predicament like that. Because I'm sure it's happened to me a few times too, where I'm trying to do what the production is needing me to do per that specific production, and then later on I realized that there was a better way of going about it, or even just like, hey, director and DP, just to clarify, I can only do notes for like one unit. So which unit do you want me to be with? And that's kind of where I'm gonna be
Yeah.
for these reasons.
Yeah.
And then just stick to the guns. Or if they're like, well, actually, we still need you to do both, and then it's like, okay, well, just so you know, I might have missing notes
Yeah.
if you're cool with that. I'm just going to clarify now.
Yeah.
You're giving the thumbs up. Okay, great. Well, I missed some important stuff, and I was just over there. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
that kind of like, well, it's your fault, not my fault. I'm
Yeah. Gotta hire a second unit. We cannot be in two places at
gotta
once.
hire 2 script supervisors per unit.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Or, I mean, that's kind of the sell for the 2 script supervisor thing in the first place, is if you are going to splinter off and have another unit over there, one of you can cover that for that in half a day or whatever and then come back.
Yeah.
That's another sell, everybody, producers. Um, great.
Notes.
Notes. Let's talk. I know we should talk more about acting. Um, I went through your IMDb. This is okay. This is a specific gig, but I was curious as to. It's called Smosh.
Oh God. Okay.
This was like a long time ago.
This was a decade ago.
This was a decade
This,
ago,
yeah, this was 10 years
back
ago.
when Smosh was extra cool.
Yeah. I wasn't even living in LA yet. I was filming all these in
Oh,
NorCal.
they were in SAC then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Because I've worked with Smosh
Okay.
here, so I was like, oh, that's our overlap. We both have Smosh experience.
Nice. How long ago did you work with them?
I did Script Soup and First AD with Smosh pre-pandemic.
Okay.
During the pandemic, they've trimmed down they do everything in house now,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm bummed about. And they go without a Script Soup, they go without a First AD. They don't use either anymore.
Wow.
Good for them. Faces. Hire me. I'm just kidding. I'll come in as a writer.
There you go.
Okay, okay, you made a face when I brought up Smosh. Were you an on-screen like interactive person with main talent and you're part of skits? What
Yes. Yes. I
Okay, was it?
feel like you know.
I
I feel
don't
like you
know.
looked these
I
up.
didn't I didn't watch the skits. I'll go back and watch them after.
Don't.
Brooke
Yeah.
Lusk Smosh
I just
sketch.
played hot girl usually in their little
Oh,
skits.
okay.
So lots of cleavage jokes.
Oh, shucks.
I
All
think
right.
that's the only, like, I know I was in like three or four, but the one that's sticking in my head is something about jugs. And it's like cleavage, but then they like turn into like actual real life milk jugs. And then there's milks. I don't remember the context of this.
Okay.
Maybe I
Yeah, I'm
disassociated.
trying to think about 10 years ago Smosh because Ian and Anthony are the two main Smoshers.
Yeah.
Anthony's the one that left
Okay. I didn't know that.
like 5 years ago or something. So I'm trying to imagine it's them. Like, they used to do like if movies were real, or
Mm-hmm.
if whatever was real, they had a whole series like that.
Yeah. I was on If Apps Were Real.
Oh, if apps were real.
Yes.
Shucks. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping it would be a little bit more Courtney Miller-esque or
I don't know who that is.
oh,
I'm
okay.
so sorry. It's Courtney Miller.
You said you were like I don't want to small. No, at some point they brought in a cat, almost like an SNL style main cast for
Okay.
Smosh. Courtney Miller's been with them for a long time,
Okay.
and now Courtney does a lot of writing and directing for them too.
Nice.
So yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't really
Anyway,
watch Smosh.
no,
I just was in like three or four
it was just a
episodes.
hired
I was just
gig,
a hired gig.
and it was
Yeah.
generic hot girl casting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Shucks.
Great experience. One of my very first acting experiences, and everyone was super sweet. I mean, it's very intimidating to be the hot girl with like cleavage on display when you're 18, but it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I was thinking like I don't think that's much of a thing these days, but I think it's just as prominent as ever. But I don't know.
I don't.
'Cause I know I follow a lot of like actors that kind of call out certain castings on
Mhm.
like there's a lot of like um like the descriptions and how they describe women in castings can be kind of like questionable.
Yeah.
Um there's always like the not like they want like a normal looking person, they don't want like a hot person, so they specifically say not attractive. Uh, and then you like think about yourself and like, oh wait, they're considering me for this thing, and like that whole
Yeah.
or I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't think that's gotten better. A
S-
decade later.
Okay, so either all right, so that's Smosh. Moving on from that, so okay, you moved to Los Angeles
Mhm.
with the dream of being an actor, and you stayed here. You moved to you went to Orange County. You moved to LA. You recently hit SAG eligibility, and you made the leap.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what, how has I'm okay. I'm also trying to set it up as like an advice section too. Is how have you managed to? How do you do the pursuit? Acting like the hardest thing in the world to do. Like it's the hardest film thing to get any traction and build yourself up into.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for a while.
Mhm.
What are you doing? How has your approach changed since you moved to Los Angeles to now? Like I don't know.
How has it changed?
Or maybe it's the same. I don't know.
I feel like I just it's a fully loaded question, I feel like, in my brain. Um I just feel like I would play and mess around a lot more when I was younger. Like I wasn't fully focused on just honing in on acting and my craft and really taking it seriously. It was kind of just like, oh, it'll happen, but it is something like an athlete. I had an acting coach compare it one time to, a professional athlete that you have to go to practice as an NFL player and multiple times throughout the week to exercise those muscles. And it's the same thing as acting. You have to go to acting class to exercise those muscles. If you're not on a project, you know, you just got to stay warm and stay ready. You just have to treat it like you're a professional athlete, or a professional at anything you do. So that I feel like has changed. I didn't really take it as seriously in my early 20s. You know, partying in WeHo on the weekends was a priority up there, and
Oh,
that,
nice.
you know, that
Gotta
that changes.
gotta get that out of the system for
Gotta
sure.
get that. I sure did. Just the sound of WeHo now, I'm like negative. Yeah, so just I don't like regret kind of playing and adventuring around LA. You know, it's I
Mhm.
feel like you said, you have to get that out of your system.
And it's life experience too at the same
Yeah.
time.
I've built a lot of friendships and family here, so yeah, I don't regret any of that. I just have learned that okay, I got to buckle down and I got to focus. And I've actually never had an agent in LA. I've just had managers. An agent is next on my list now that I've
Hmm.
become SAG.
Hmm.
And um
Theatrical and commercial
yeah.
specifically. I mean, I don't. I know theatrical is the almost a harder one to get versus a commercial. But okay, yeah,
Yeah.
agents.
Yeah, agents. That's the next step. So, yeah, just submitting on IMDb Pro and getting those emails and sending my stuff over.
You're submitting on. Wait, how are you? Okay, I was because you mentioned earlier that you have to look at your IMDb.
Yeah. Gotta check that out.
So all right. Okay. That sounds. I mean, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Because I don't really want that much crew work on my IMDb. So that's why I want to look at
It's building up. It's building up there for sure. It looks
it.
great from like my perspective. I don't know. I don't really ding people for sort of needing to survive in Los Angeles. Like that's kind
Yeah.
of
I just know agents will not
yeah.
like crew
Yeah.
credits on my IMDb. So I
I
appreciate
mean
whoever's
I mean
crediting me.
I know I enjoy an actor that is aware of what's happening around them. I think that's important.
That's what I would think too. That
Yeah.
people who have worked in production and are successful actors
Yeah, I
are
guess
usually more respectful and appreciative and not divas.
you would hope.
You would hope.
You would hope.
You would hope. Yeah.
I heard Brooke can be. I'm just kidding. All right.
I'm the worst.
Okay, so I was gonna ask because you posted about this recently, and I wanted to say congratulations. I don't know.
Every time you say I posted something, I'm like, God damn it, what did I
It's like, oh
post?
no, what am I doing? Just
What
close
did I
this
do now?
down. Lock this up. You posted a photo of yourself outside of your first trailer.
Yes.
You had your first trailer, and that I believe it was also your first national commercial spot. Congrats.
Correct. Thank you so
Congrats. That's
much.
humongo.
Thank you. That is what I became union for. I joined
Oh,
the
okay.
union for that commercial. I have been SAG eligible for a couple years. I just had the paperwork hanging out, and this was the one that they were like, you gotta make the switch. So I did.
Mm-hmm.
Had my own trailer, which I was super geeked out about. Um, yeah, that was the first big spot. I'm
So,
so excited.
yes. Okay. Lame question. Trailer. After, how was it? This, what did you do with this trailer? Because like you had it
Hmm.
for the full multiple day,
2 days.
2 days. I'm just kind of curious on the specificities of what it was like
Hmm.
to have a trailer.
Well, we had a base camp, which
Yeah.
is parking, which is where all the trailers were. So I really only got my trailer in the morning because then we would be held in the little mini mansion that was like a 2-minute shuttle away.
Oh,
So I only had
2 minute shuttle.
I only had my trailer in the morning, but we shot this commercial in February, so it was really cold and call time was like 6:30 in the morning. So the biggest thing was it was heated and I was warm.
It's good.
And they would bring me coffee and breakfast. And then I would just hop over to wardrobe and they would dress me and then hop over to hair and makeup and they would fix me up so I didn't look like I just rolled out of bed.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is also what you could do on SAG commercials. I'm used to non-union where you have to bring wardrobe
yeah.
options, come sometimes hair, makeup ready, not all the time. Um, but with SAG, just like show up. They had
Just
everything
show
for
up.
me.
Yeah, show up and ideally do nothing.
Hmm.
Like, I guess come with clean hair.
Clean hair, clean face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like don't come where we need to wash your hair.
Yeah. But I'm clean hair. If you wash it the night before and you wake up with bedhead, like that's fine.
Yeah,
They'll fix your hair.
yeah.
I was like, that's so nice.
That is nice. Luxury.
It was luxurious. Yeah, I was very. It made me want to work and push harder so I could have that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoiled. Gotcha.
Spoiled. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I've paid my dues here.
No, for sure, for sure. I guess okay, because especially because you work the crew site too. I was
Mhm.
very curious on like. I mean, it's definitely cool. I know. I think about like I just think about as a script supervisor or director. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna have my own trailer. Directors get their trailers. Sometimes does the director get a trailer?
I don't know. I've never heard of this. I'm sure Scorsese has a
'Cause I
trailer.
know there's places that directors hide during lunch sometimes, and because they don't want to be found, they have like secret nooks. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, okay. So you had a trailer.
Had a trailer. Had a toilet in it. It's great.
Okay, yeah, I'm very you had your personal toilet.
Yes.
You could set up. You were there for until they called you to set,
Hmm.
which was maybe I don't know how much time you had in there to just chill, but
Couple hours in the
okay,
morning.
that's great.
I mean, set was beautiful. Craft services was also luxurious on
Yeah.
that set. That commercial had a lot of money.
Hmm.
The lunches were insane.
Love commercial lunches.
The okay, I'm just gonna break it
Go
down.
for it. Go for it.
So 2 days we were there. The first day we had two options of buffets, like what kind of food
For
we
breakfast?
wanted. No, for lunch. What was the first day options? I just remember there was every sort of protein you can think of, to vegan, to carnivores. There
Mhm.
was everything. And day two, I remember specifically because it was such polar opposites, but there was like a southern comfort buffet. So, like fried chicken and biscuits and gravy for lunch and all this. And then a sushi chef came in with like fresh fish.
Mhm.
And I had sushi for lunch. And you could have both if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But I just grabbed sushi. Yeah. And then on the first day after lunch, they brought in a cappuccino cart, which was
Yeah.
delicious,
Seen that.
and a lobster truck. There were lobster and crab rolls. And an ice cream truck came after that. Like,
Wow.
they had so much money to spend.
For
It was
sure.
wild.
That's nice.
It was very bougie.
That's nice.
I wasn't even hungry, and I was like, well, there's lobster here.
Well,
so-
I'm here for 2 days. I might as well go for it. Might as well indulge
Yeah.
in the luxury. Yeah, for sure. That's
Mhm.
what I would do. I know, like, my first commercial sets were like that, most definitely, where I'm like, wait a second here.
Yeah.
This is real food.
This is really
This
nice.
is like handmade from people that are actually making good money and care about their jobs, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when I know I'm on a bougie set when the craft services people bring around like trays throughout production. Have you
I have not seen that.
well, I guess where they'll have because a lot of crew members, it's hard to get too crafty to like just get a snack. So sometimes they'll make like those little like yogurt cups
Mhm.
or some sort of like little handy food thing, and they'll take a tray around production and just like hand them out to like gaffers and grips,
That's really
and I'll be
great.
like, yeah, I'll take one.
Yeah.
And then for dessert, they'll bring out like ice cream sandwiches or something like that.
Oh,
It's
I have not
it's
had
very
that.
lovely. No, but
Wa-
okay.
Was that commercially for
No,
you?
the always commercial, 100%, 0% on
Theatrical
yeah
narrative stuff. Yeah.
No, that's we want to put the money on the screen,
Right.
not in the
This
bellies.
is true. Yes. But yeah.
So what was the can I ask about what spot it was specifically, or
Yeah.
has it come out? Is it
It has come out.
Okay.
It played a lot for March Madness. It was
Mhm.
for FanDuel, which is a sports betting app.
Okay.
And specifically the dialogue for the commercial, our hero talent was talking about March Madness. So it was a March Madness spot. So
And then you were a
I was a principal feature. I was next to the hero. So if the hero was here, you were me. And then there were two others. So I got a lot of FaceTime being next to
okay.
the hero.
Oh,
I didn't
gotcha,
have any
gotcha.
dialogue.
So they were the ones kind of talking to the camera
Yeah, interacting with
and the
their friends.
scene was I'm imagining like a poker table for some reason, but
No, we were on a couch here and then a couch here, and the TV was up
oh, it was
there.
game day.
Game day.
We're watching
Yeah,
sports.
yeah. So we were watching a basketball game,
Okay.
which I know nothing about.
Cool.
So I was like, yeah, kick it in the net.
You're doing the yay sports thing.
Yay, sports.
Woo! Big
Yeah.
ball.
Which, so I actually didn't even submit to this commercial.
Jeez, look at this.
I know. I was with my
You're
friend.
making everybody so upset right now.
I was very lucky to get this spot.
Alyssa, yes.
I know. Actually, I have more than one friend, shockingly. Um, no, I was with my friend Brent Bailey, who's a very successful actor. We shot a short film together this January, a dark comedy with one of the directors, the field director for Ellen DeGeneres.
Field director. I don't even know what that is.
I think that's would they go out and shoot things, when
Oh, okay.
just not on the lot.
Yeah, they'll manage the. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha. For the field.
She was lovely. So we shot a short film together, and that's where I met Brent. Was this January on the short film, and we just became fast friends. And he was like, "Oh, I also do headshots just on the side." And it had been like 3 years since I updated my headshots.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to COVID. And so I just
Shout out to COVID.
so I went over to his place, and we were doing headshots, and he was like, "Oh, I just got a audition on Actors Access from my agent. Do you mind if I do it real quick? It's due later today." And him and I were just kind of hanging out and like, whatever. And then he read the audition and was like, "Oh, two friends watching a basketball game." So he was like, "Do you want to just hop in with me?" And we booked it together. We both booked the commercial, and like,
That's so cool.
thank you so much to him. Otherwise, I never would have got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, that's all.
it
Yeah.
was just kind of stroke of luck.
Yeah. It. I feel like it's too often the story. That's why it's so frustrating. Not
Yeah.
that I'm not even an actor, and it's frustrating because it's like, yeah, because the idea is you work hard and you submit and you submit and you submit, but then some of the like the bigger breaks or some cooler stuff that you get are just happenstance.
Yeah.
Well, it's happenstance things, but it's like self-created luck kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you just stay busy, like you're doing the short film, you're making connections, just the authentic submission with just like, oh yeah, it's not
Yeah.
my thing. I don't. Let me help you get this thing,
Yeah.
and then I didn't. Yeah, that's
It is how it happens. It's never the ones where you're like working really hard on your self tape and you're submitting it yourself. It's always
Yeah.
just it's the ones you kind of just not throw away, but after you do it, you just never really think about it again. You don't dwell on them,
that's the trick.
and then you book it. You're like, oh, this is the national commercial.
The trick is to
Yeah.
care, but not that much.
Yeah. Yep.
Care enough,
Care.
long enough, and then say goodbye.
Yeah.
I guess the trick. The trick isn't the trick kind of to be busy? Is that a part of the trick? I mean, that's kind of how I see it, but does that make sense? And you have enough going on that you don't linger on stuff that you're like, okay, yeah, I helped a friend with this and I submitted this, but I've got this that I'm looking for. Like, you're not really.
Yeah. I think busy is key. What's that quote? Life happens when you're busy making plans.
Is that what they
Something
say?
like that. Yeah.
Okay, I trust you.
Yeah.
It's a great quote. See what else I got here. I don't know why I did that into the microphone. So 12 dates. I'm just kidding. I'm just
You're
kidding.
like,
Just
this is a
kidding.
wrap. And that's it. I'm done.
I guess this is nerdy script supervisor. Just to bring it back to this, what does your kit look like?
It's a laptop. Yeah.
So you come to set with a backpack.
Yes.
And you pull out a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a stand that you put it on, or you
I
just put it on your
do.
lap?
I do have a stand. Okay, so yes, I have a backpack and I do keep a little moleskin notepad with me because
This-
I like to write things down that we owe if the director is ever like, we forgot this.
We need a yeah. Our sound is like we need to get
Wild
yeah
lines.
yeah.
Yeah. So I have my little moleskin and a pencil, always a pencil,
Mm-hmm.
and my laptop. I do have a Black Magic mini recorder with an SDI cable,
Nerd.
but
Just kidding.
my
Just kidding.
computer's too old. I can't use it yet. I have to get a new computer because it won't
Oh,
download the program.
can I tell you? Sorry.
No, tell me. And then I have a stand, and that's my kit. Tell me.
So you walk with a stand and a backpack,
I actually have a little case for my stand. It's you could break it down. It's like a
and
little
it latches on somehow, or I don't know. I don't.
latches on
Because I
to.
imagine like a C stand, ask big chunky stand, or like a music stand.
It's kind of like a music stand. Yeah,
Okay,
it's like a
it's pretty
foldable
pretty,
tripod.
and it holds. Okay, great,
Yeah.
nice. What I was gonna say about the Black Magic,
Yes.
I don't like. I don't care about continuity photos.
Oh.
I do care. Okay, here let me. There's a sometimes there's an expectation that the part of the job is like it's required that we take photos of everything everywhere all at once. That's not the
A24.
yeah A24 great movie. That we just have that we take photos and that's a part of our job. And if anybody asks for photos, we provide a photo. It's like, here, look at the photo. I took a screenshot. Look, here's the answer to your question in photo form. That's not the job, and I fight against that by not doing it. So I usually I guess my base is I'll take like one screenshot per setup just so I know the sizing of the photo, what's in the background, like what's been established is what I like to know. Is like what are we establishing here? Where's the eye line? Snag that. What lens was it on? That kind of basic info. But I don't usually. And then if I don't. So Black Magic is the Black Magic. What's it called? Mini recorder.
Mm-hmm.
That is designed where we can connect directly to the monitor, have a direct feed to our laptop, and we can take prettier screenshots. Easier, you can just do the little clicky
Yeah.
and a screenshot.
Or you could set a timer and it just does
Yeah,
it by itself.
I hate that even more. I
Why?
hate that even more. There's this.
I'm like,
There's this thing. I think it might just be. It's not like I'm like much older than you anyway, but I think about like the internet makes us dumber. Like I feel like we don't retain as much information because we know we can Google it. So we don't our brains just know we don't have to know as much stuff because it's readily available.
yeah.
So then as a script supervisor, it's my job to be watching stuff and be keeping it in my head. So when I do need an answer, I do need to like the eye line doesn't match or the 180 was jumped or something kind of pertinent happens, I know immediately and I know everything's up in here. I fear that if I'm continually just like recording the footage and I can just resort back to it and scrub it like a DAT would, then I don't have to retain anything. I'm like, oh, you want to know where what they were holding and what they came in with. Normally, I just make quick like hand notes on sides. Like I'll write like purse, and then I'll make a dash, and then when they walk in with it, I'm like, okay, it was over their left shoulder, so I'll put like an L on it, or phone, and then oh right, or phone handoff, and I'll put R arrow left.
Okay.
Like I'll keep track of like which hand did what more so than taking a photo of it. I feel like photos. Did it just get really dark?
I think the clouds covered. It's spooky now.
um. So that's kind of what the Googling, the Google effect is kind of how I see it. If it's
Okay.
all there, that's not, my
So-
job isn't to review footage and give you an answer.
What do you do if someone is arguing with you? Because I love the photos because when I'm right, I'm like, I have proof because I'm argued with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot with eye lines,
By
with
by DP director, are they the primaries?
yeah, DP, director, first AD questions
First
me a
AD
lot.
doesn't care. Do
The
they?
last thing I was on, I was questioned a lot. And actors as well. I've worked with bigger actors where,
Hmm.
in a medium setup, he's leaning on a door, a front door that's open about this much. And then in the wide, he closed the door all the way and was standing about 2 feet away from it. I'm like, well, that's not going to match at all. And he was like, this is how I was doing it. And I was like, no, it's not. I have a photo. So that's why I like photos, because it's like, don't argue with me, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It can help solidify certain. It can close arguments for sure.
Yeah.
I guess more of my generality, more of my general, jeez, more of my thought in general is that if I'm arguing with somebody to get a point across on a continuity note, I'm in a bad place. Like this is like I want to get to the ideal situation is that we both trust each other. I know you as a DP. This is lit beautifully. I'm not going to criticize your lighting. I'm not going to criticize your composition. I'm not going to, I know what I can speak on and what I can't speak on.
Yeah.
But when I speak on, hey, I think the eye line should be this direction and not this direction, or with an actor is like, hey, sometimes it matters, sometimes it, like again, like you came in and you were talking on the phone on the right cheek, but for some reason on the last take, you had it on the left cheek. So let's just make the speech, just be conscious of it. And I don't know if the director cares which one's the preferred. I don't even know what the
Yeah.
preferred take is, but yeah, I kind of almost like not having the photo. Like, it's just again generally because then it helps build the trust.
Sure, sure. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I see your perspective.
'cause I don't.
To each his own.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
it is nice being right. I can almost just feel bad being right sometimes too. It can be. I guess it depends on the tonal, the tonal and how you do it too.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. Is we're a team.
Right. I mean, the only reason I feel passionate about being right is literally for the film. So it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
jumping all over the place in this
For
scene.
sure, for
So
sure.
it's not like I'm like, "Hey, I'm right." It's just
Hey,
like
you're
that's
wrong,
not gonna cut in
and
post,
I'm
you know.
better than you.
Right. No, it's never like that. I do it as gently as possible, especially to actors. I'm always like, "Hey,
Well, of course.
you had your phone on the other ear. Can we switch?" You know,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hey, you
but
had your hair tucked. I know when I go, this is the thing that I've had forever, and it's kind of I kind of get annoyed with myself. But like as a kid, like going up to a teacher, like I drop my voice down, or like, no, I raise it up. I don't know what I do. It's kind of like you're talking to somebody you're afraid to talk to. Like, hey, can I
yeah.
go to the bathroom right now?
Right.
Like, and you're asking permission, and
Yeah.
you're just scared. Like that's how I go up to people in general. It's like, hey, yeah, like kind of like
Yeah.
what you did. It's like, hey,
Hey.
so you did that, just make sure.
I do that to actors because I know actors can have a big ego about making a mistake, and
For
a big
sure.
ego just being like they get super self-conscious. I don't want to interfere with their acting, so I'm just like
You want to
I
be
make it
the
try not to make it a big deal. Like it's not a big deal, but just like maybe switch the phone, you know,
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
me. But for my director, I feel like I'll talk
I
less,
can
you
get
know.
sassy, but so yeah,
Really?
me yeah. I fight back with
Um
sass. It's not appreciated sometimes.
I'm sure I have, but I don't know if it's ever been towards my director.
I'm great at the under the breath commentary.
Oh.
I don't do that too often. It's usually I do it as a joke too a lot as well. When on stuff that doesn't matter. So I sprinkle, I mix it up.
Yeah. Gotta keep them on their toes.
Yeah, keep them on the toes. They don't know what's coming their way.
On the last thing I did, I had a sound guy that loved to make comments under his breath. But he was the mixer, and then we had a boom op. Um, and he was so lazy. Like he would never get out of his chair. And if I was like running around on set, not really in Village, he would never just get up and like come ask me what take we're on. I would always have to run back to Village and, do that. And we started one day and he came up to me and asked what scene we are on, and he said it was like scene. It was some weird. It was numbered weird. The scene we had added. I think we added a scene. It was like Alpha 2, and it was take 1.
Sure.
So he phrased it as Alpha 2 dash 1. And in my head, I took it as take 1. So I said it back to him. I said, yeah, scene Alpha 2, take 1. So we're on take 4. We had started our day. And he said, hey, Brooke, the slate is saying Alpha 2, take 4. And I was like, correct. And he was like, what happened to Alpha 2 dash 1? And I was like, what do you mean dash 1? And he was like, well, the schedule says dash 1. And I was like, we just had a miscommunication, and mixers can go in and relabel. And I was like, yeah, can you, I don't know. Like, I repeated back to you, Alpha 2, take 1. I don't know where you got this dash 1. I repeated it back to you before we started rolling today. And he just started mumbling under his breath. And it was in Village in front of everyone. And I called him out on that shit, because if you have something to say to me, say it out loud. You're a grown man. So, not to call you out on your mumbling, but I was not happy with it. I was like, just relabel.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta watch the mumbles. It's a classic sound person thing though too, because they have it as bad as script supervisors a lot of the time too, where they're constantly trying to be like, I'm here to get the best sound we can, but you're constantly putting me in positions in which you're making my job harder. Like, I can't boom, like my boom op can't even get in, and you're not letting me set up here, and
yeah,
I don't have time with the actors, and I got to make this adjustment. And you're saying just go again, like
yeah. Sound does have it hard,
and they hear everything. So
they do hear everything.
So
yes,
but yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
I
feel like I was just totally shit talking that guy, but like we're cool now. We talked afterwards.
It happens. Yeah. I lost my thought again.
Oh no.
I lost it.
Bad sound. I will say sound has one of the toughest jobs. I think art department has a really tough job.
It's all hard.
I would never want to be art.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Let's see what else I got. I think we're winding down. Okay, yes. Everything is wonderful. I guess classic podcast question. And it's kind of boring. I don't know. So we're already like halfway through. We're like nearing the halfway mark of 2022 already.
Big sigh.
What I'm very curious as, like we talked about, you recently joined SAG. You're seeking representation on the agent side, on the actor side. You talked about being a writer. You talked about dreams of directing, but not feeling ready for it yet. And plus, the energy aspect too is like, if you're going to be putting energy towards something, you prefer to go to acting currently than the directing side and trying to produce a thing.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. But then there's script supervising as well. And you mentioned you're going on vacation soon or something.
Yes. Yeah.
What are, I'm like, for the rest of 2022, let's say, or into next year, like, how do you approach the future?
So acting is on the forefront of my mind and my priorities. I'm going to be out of town here in the next 2 weeks for about 2 weeks, just going to visit my boyfriend's parents in Virginia. So
nice.
just a little getaway.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get back, I will be hopping into a new acting class, which I always find that when I, try a new technique or a new class and meet new people, new acting opportunities are always presented to me. Whether it's just making a short film with friends, building your reel, or getting cast in something real, legitimate. There's always something that comes good from joining a new acting class.
Okay.
So that will be next when I get back from my trip to Virginia. Agent, always submitting to agents. It is hard to get a theatrical agent, like you said. But I would say my commercial resume and reel is much bigger than my theatrical. reel. So booking that or getting a commercial agent, I think will do good to
Yeah.
start with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that's kind of on the agenda for the rest of 2022. Obviously, working in production in Italy at the end of the year.
That's a big one.
And that's a big one. So that pretty much sums up my 2022, and we'll see where acting takes me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's manifest a Netflix show.
There we go.
Let's book that.
I don't know. Do you want to be on Netflix?
I don't know. Do I?
I don't know. HBO Max is the place to be these days, no?
I've been on HBO Max.
See, you've already got the groundwork laid there.
Right,
You're already in the rooms on multiple shows. See,
Euphoria. HBO Max.
HBO
that
Max.
would be a dream.
There's a lot of I don't know, Netflix. I don't know. I don't hear many good things about Netflix these days, but yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last good show I recall is Queen's Gambit. I don't know much about any show since then.
Queen's Gambit was good. I was a big fan of Bridgerton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Bridgerton season
3.
was that the latest one?
Season 2 just came out.
Okay.
So
they're casting right now, I heard. For 3.
I don't have an accent, but we'll work on it.
You can work on it.
I can work
You
on
got it.
Yeah.
They'll just dub over you. It's fine. They have AI technology for that now.
Exactly.
Cool. It feels okay. Great.
We
Wonderful.
talked about so many things.
We did. Great. Awesome. Okay. I guess I thought I had a thought. My thoughts are just I'm stumbling here. To end it, for those that want to keep in the loop with all things Brooke Lusk on because you're pretty good about posting what you're up to and all that kind of stuff, right? Do you like to share tidbits? Because I know I'll do the day 1 and day 2 things, but I keep it kind of obscure, just set. It's like I'm like, oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't know what your technique is. But either way, is it worth following you? First of all, yes.
Yeah, if you want to keep up with my set life, some of my personal life, it's just my first and last name. My Instagram, Brooke Lusk.
Awesome.
I don't
Easy.
tweet and I don't do the Facebook.
I got to get you on the Facebook. Maybe.
Yes.
No, you don't want to be a script. Okay, anyway, great. That's the show. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me. That was fun.
Great.
Nerding out.
For sure, nerding out. All right, Kate, bye everybody.